Good morning on this Monday after Easter. I pray that everyone had a wonderful Easter celebration and the time continues. This morning, I'd like to do something just a little different. I read a sermon written by the Reverend Lori Wagner on Easter, an Easter Sunday sermon, and I've edited some for time purposes, but I felt that she had so much to say that I wanted to share it with you and have permission to do so. So here are the Reverend Lori Wagner's words. This year, Easter Sunday falls during the COVID-19 pandemic, a time when we are secluded in our homes and told to wrap our faces in cloth if we dare to go out for groceries or supplies. Walk into the grocery store and you'll see people wandering quietly through the aisles with gloved hands and masked faces. Get too close and you'll register a wide-eyed look of alarm on the face of that passersby. We are in hiding from an invisible beast. The beast is what people are naming the virus. It attacks ferociously in the night with spiked fevers, aches, lung binding, and hallucinations. COVID-19 is a breathtaking virus. It steals the breath from people's bodies in a particularly terrifying way. It strikes suddenly, leaving us frightened and breathless. With no cure in sight, the only thing we can do is hide away, covering our noses and faces with cloth, hoping to keep the aggressive beast away from our lungs. COVID-19 is a death threat that's already made good on many lives. This brutal virus makes us feel that we are locked up in a dark tomb for an impossibly long duration, as though the darkness of Good Friday might go on forever with little hope in sight. And yet all around us we see signs of spring, signs of awakening, signs of hope, signs of resurrection. We know life as we know it may be dampened down for now, covered in what feels like funeral clothing. And yet spring blooms eternal. All around us the birds sing, the sun bursts out from the winter clouds, trees bud, flowers unfurl, the ground thaws, and God unwraps an entirely new landscape of color and life. But for now, we wait. Life in waiting is merely that, a time of waiting, and yet a time of expectation. For we know that no matter what, that beast has no power over God's resurrection breath. And God's resurrection breath will raise us up. A new day will dawn soon, very soon. Mary's faith kept her expectant and waiting, watching for something new to change, something miraculous to happen. She may not have known when or exactly how, but on that third day she came nevertheless, in the darkness, hoping that God would come through, that light would somehow break through. I've often thought how the realization of resurrection washed over them. Mary initially thought that the authorities had taken his body and disposed of it. It took Jesus appearing before them several times to shake them into knowing, understanding the resurrection. So it didn't come all at once. That's where we find ourselves, wary, uncertain. Do I go out wrapped in garments, or do I take the grave clothes off? Do I risk my presence among the people again? I can tell you that when Mary and the disciples realized what had happened, that life had been restored, that God's promise had been fulfilled, that resurrection was here, they found the courage to open the doors and walk out into the light. And yet life had changed. Never again would Jesus walk the earth as he did before. Never again would they sit on the hillside drawing crowds of people. That time had passed. That was before. A new life and a new time had dawned, and with it a new kind of spirit and a new kind of people. You too are resurrection people. Watch and wait, people of God. Be expectant. Dawn is coming. And when it comes, your face clothes will be removed and you will breathe again. The spring you see around you will manifest in all kinds of ways, and life will start again. You'll again feel the bustle of people and cars, know the joy of relationships and friends. You'll again eat together, sing together, worship together, and love together. In a word, resurrection. It will all be new. Never again will life be quite the same. For our experiences of death and darkness change us. We emerge not the same, but renewed and restored. We become wiser and more understanding about the world of God's amazing miracles. We become more joyful about life and more appreciative of everything in it. We become resurrection people. Resurrection is coming. The signs are all around you. Watch, wait, listen for the breath, long for the change. Celebrate the Lord who gives life and restores life, now and always. Amen. Thank you, Lori Wagner.